Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That. Today I am going to be talking about the Vampire Legion builder from the Mythic Legions line of action figures. Now, for those of you who are new to Mythic Legions, let me start by explaining what a Legion builder is. First of all, the regular figures for the line start at around $50. So the Legion builders are a little bit less expensive figure that can either be an entry to the Mythic Legions line, or for people who are already involved with the Mythic Legions line, the Legion builders give them an opportunity to build an army of figures for less money. The Legion builders retail for about $40. So that's still pretty expensive, but these figures are really detailed and really well made. And as you can see here, they come with a lot of different accessories. Now, let's take a look at this figure. This is the Vampire Legion builder. As you can see, it is a female vampire. And if you take a look, the figure's solid black, so they didn't have to spend a lot of money on paint apps for this figure. The only paint is on the head, and it's really a cool paint job. They've got a lot of detail on the eyes. The skin, I don't know if you can tell here on this video, the skin's a little bit darker than white, and then the eyes are just straight up white, so it makes them just really pop out. And there's little details like the fangs here, which are just really tiny, also painted white with a black mouth. Now, these figures have a lot of articulation. The head's on a ball joint, so it moves all over the place. They are jointed at the shoulders. They're jointed at the elbow. You can move them up and down. You can also move them, rotate them side to side. And the gauntlets also rotate side to side, and so do the wrists. The wrists also move back and forth. Then there's a ball joint here connecting the top and the bottom of the chest, and there is a side-to-side joint here at the waist. The legs, they move out, but they also move forward and back. And at the knee, you can move forward and back as well as side to side. And the same thing with the ankles. They move forward and back, and they rotate and they pivot. So there's a lot of articulation in these figures. Now let's take a look at some of the accessories. The first thing I'm going to look at here is this plume that goes into the helmet of the action figure here. And it just pops right in, and it looks pretty cool. It's heavy too. It does affect the balance of the figure a little bit, but it's not too bad. You can still pose the figure in all kinds of cool poses. So that is a really cool addition here, is the purple plume. Most of the vampire characters from the Mythic Legions line are black with an almost white skin and some purple accents somewhere on the figure or on some of the weapons. Now, the next thing I'm going to take a look at here are the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads can just pop right in to these holes on the back of the figure. There are a lot of figures that have these holes for the shoulder armor to go on them in the Mythic Legions line. In fact, I think most of the figures have the holes, even if they don't come with the shoulder armor. So you just pop those into the holes, and now you have got a little bit more detail with shoulder armor on this figure. Speaking of armor, we're going to take a look at the shield next. It's a standard round shield, solid black, and the handle is a separate piece. I should mention these handles go onto the shield because there's a hole in the handle and a peg on the shield. They go on just by lining up the hole to the peg and carefully putting them together. But I should mention, I have heard of quite a few people breaking the peg when trying to put these together too forcefully. So be careful when you're putting your shields together not to break off that peg, or you will have to get some super glue and put it together that way. The shield pops into the figure's hand pretty easily. Because I'm reaching around a camera, I can't do anything easily. But here is what the figure looks like holding the shield. Pretty cool. And I'm going to take that out, talk about some of the weapons that this figure comes with. We've got a spear. It's a pretty standard spear. A lot of these figures have them. This one is painted black with a silver tip. We've also got the standard sword. I'm not sure how many figures come with this sword, but I only have a few Mythic Legions figures, and several of them have this same sword. Again, it's painted with a black handle and a silver blade. And then we've got these two other bladed weapons, which are kind of sword-like, but you can put them together, much like the shield. There's a peg on this one and a hole on this one. You can put them together to make a double-bladed weapon here. So that is a cool piece. And as with most of the Mythic Legions figures, the vampire also comes with these pieces, which allow you to put wings on the figure. And the way that works is there's a hole in the back of the figure here. You can see that underneath the plume. And these just pop right in to the back. And then you put the wings have pegs, and you put them into these holes. So that's how you connect wings onto the figure. The wings are sold separately. Most of the figures have the ability to have wings put on them, but not all of the figures might feel like they need a set of wings. Next, we have the standard belt. Most of the Mythic Legions figures come with this. It's a brown belt. I typically put it around the shoulder, kind of like this. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pop off the head and the shoulder pads so that I can pop on the other head, and I'll show you how I usually put the belt on the figures, especially the female figures. I just put it over one arm and over the neck post, and then pull that down like so. And they wear the belt like this, and it's great for carrying the sword. There's a little a slit in the back, and you can just slide the sword in there like so. And the last piece is a second head. A lot of the Legion builders, a lot of the Mythic Legions figures in general, come with a second head, and this is one of those figures. So let's pop this one on. This is, as you can see, a helmet that covers the entire face. It makes the figure look a little bit more like a generic fighter, army building figure with a army-like head. So you can pick up a couple of these, give one of them the helmet with the full face mask, give the other one the helmet with the plume, and it's pretty much like having two different figures, two different characters there. Now, an interesting thing to note about the Mythic Legions figures is they reuse a lot of parts. The figures were designed by the Four Horsemen. They have a lot of history with Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe reused a lot of body parts from one figure to the next, and this figure reuses a lot of body parts from other figures. I'm going to show you guys another one of the Legion builders. This one's called the Iron Knight. And if you take a look at these two figures, except for the head and the color, they are identical. The bodies are the same. They both come with the same belt. In fact, the Iron Knight also comes with this sword in solid silver and this spear in solid silver. But if you take a look, they have the same hands. They have the same forearms, elbows, upper arms. They have the same waist armor. They have the same legs, the same feet. So basically, the Four Horsemen are able to save some money by using a lot of the same molds and offering different characters by using the same parts in different colors with slightly different accessories, some of the same accessories, and a couple of different heads. And in the end, you save a little bit of money by buying the Legion builders, and they are, in my opinion, very cool figures. I wish the prices were a little bit lower. And just to give you guys a tip, if you sign up for the Four Horsemen's newsletter, every once in a while when they release new figures or when they have an overstock, they'll go on sale. They'll send out an email to people who are signed up for their newsletter, and you can get figures that are usually $50 for maybe $35. I'm not sure how much the Legion builders would go for in that case, but regardless, you're saving some more money, and with a line of figures that is expensive as the Mythic Legions are, saving any money you can is a good deal. Once again, this is the Vampire Legion builder. I think it's a great figure, and I think it looks awesome and comes with a lot of accessories. It's really posable and a lot of fun. What do you think of the Mythic Legions figures in general, and what do you think of this Vampire Legion builder specifically? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please click like, subscribe to my videos, and click that notification bell if you enjoy them, and share on social media. It would really help me out if you shared my videos so that more people could see them. And one last thing before I go, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about ToyLanta, one of the biggest toy shows in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit ToyLanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.